So we're going to discuss about the endocrinology. It is the study of the endocrine system. So endocrine, it is one of the body's two major communication system. A system in which a group of secretory cells, a gland, secretes a potent chemical transmitter substance which is known as a hormone into the blood. The transmitter is then carried by the blood to the target cells where a response is elicited. Differs from the other system, the activity of the endocrine system complements that of the nervous system. The nervous system involves rapid short-lived communication between individual cells, while the endocrine system involves slower prolonged communication between large number of cells. The endocrine system is essential for maintenance of homeostasis. So what are the point of interest in the endocrine system? It is some organs in the endocrine systems are involved in and have numerous functions in other systems. A single gland may secrete multiple hormones reflecting different types of endocrine cell in the same gland. In a few cases, a single cell may secrete more than one hormone. An example for this is anterior pituitary follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. A particular hormone may be produced by numerous endocrine glands. A chemical messenger secreted by an endocrine gland is often also secreted by other types of cells and serve in this location as a neurotransmitter, paracrine, and autocrine. The endocrine system contains 6 major glands, including many others. So what are the glands of the endocrine glands? So we have in the head, we have pineal, hypothalamus, pituitary. That's in the head. While in the neck we have thyroid and parathyroid gland. Then in the body, we have the thymus, the adrenals, and the pancreas. And in the female, we have ovary, while in the male, we have testes. So let's summarize the hormones. So adipose tissue cell, their hormone is leptin, which is its major function is the food intake or the metabolic rate. While in the adrenal gland, we have two actually in the adrenal gland. We have adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. In the adrenal cortex, the hormone is cortisol, androgen, and aldosterone. Let's talk about the cortisol. The function of the cortisol is the organic metabolism response to stress and immune system. While in the androgens, we have sex drives in women. In the aldosterone, the function of the aldosterone is the sodium, potassium, and acid excretion by kidneys. Now let's go to the adrenal medulla. Wait. Adrenal medulla. Epinephrine and norepinephrine, that's their hormone, which their function is the same. Its organic metabolism to its function is in the epinephrine and norepinephrine is the organic metabolism of cardiovascular function and response to stress. Now let's go with the gastrointestinal tract gland. We have the hormone of the gastrin, secretin, cholecytokinin, glucose-dependent insulinotropic peptide, and motilin. In the gastrin, we have their major function of the gastrin is the gastrointestinal tract, livers, pancreas, and gallbladder. Oh wait, it's just the same thing. They all have a functional of gastrointestinal tract, liver, pancreas, and gallbladder. Well, let's go to the gonads, ovaries, female. We have to go to the gonads, which there is two actually, the gonads, or the ovaries, and the testes. The ovaries is the female. Now, the hormone of the ovaries is the estrogen, which is the function of it is the reproductive system, breast growth, and development, influence gamete. It's the same thing with the progesterone, while inhibin is the FSH secretion, while relaxin is the function of the relaxin is the relaxation of cervix and pubic ligaments. In the male, we have testosterone, which the function of that testosterone is the reproductive system growth and development, sex drive influence gametes, while its inhibin is same thing, FSH secretion. While there is the Mullerian inhibiting hormone, which is the regression of Mullerian ducts. Now let's go with the heart. The hormone of the heart is the atrial natriuretic factor, or ANF, or anthrioleptin, which its function is the sodium excretion by kidneys, blood pressure. Now let's go to the hypothalamus gland. The hypothalamus gland has many hormones, actually. It's actually one of the many hormones. So we have hypophysiotropic hormone, which its function is to secretion of hormone by the anterior pituitary. Then we have corticotropin releasing hormone, which these hormones is also by the secretion of adrenocorticotropic hormone. We have thyrotropin releasing hormone, which the secretion of it is the thyroid stimulating hormone. The growth hormone releasing hormone is the secretion of growth hormone, while somatostatin is the secretion of growth hormone but in inhibition, while the growth hormone releasing hormone is the stimulation. The gonadotropin releasing hormone, or GnRH, its function is the secretion of luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, while dopamine, or DA, also called prolactin inhibiting hormone, or PIH, is the secretion of prolactin, which is inhibition. Posterior pituitary hormones is C in the posterior pituitary. Now let's talk about the kidneys. The hormone of the kidneys is renin, or an enzyme that gametes angiotensin. The function of it is the aldosterone secretion or blood pressure, while erythropoietin is the function of it is the erythrocytes production. The 1,2,25 dihydroxy vitamin D3, its function is the plasma calcium. Well, now let's go with the glands, with the leukocytes, macrophages, endothelial cells, and fibroblasts. Their hormones is one, which is cytokines. These include the interleukin, colony stimulating factor, interferons, and tumor necrosis factor, which its function is the immune defense. We have the liver and other cells glands, which it has a hormone of insulin-like growth factor, or IGF-1 and 2, which its function is mainly involved in the cell division and growth. We have also the pancreas, which its function is the insulin. Which the hormone of it is the insulin, glucagon, and somatostatin. That's their hormone. And their function is organic metabolism and plasma glucose. We have the parathyroid gland, which its hormone is parathyroid hormone, or PTH, or PH, or parathormone, which its function is the plasma calcium and phosphate. We have pineal, or its hormone is the melatonin, which its function is the sexual maturity or the body rhythm. We have pituitary gland, or anterior pituitary, which its hormone is the growth hormone, or GH, somatotropin, which the function of it is the growth mainly via secretion of IGF-1, protein, carbohydrates, and lipid metabolism. While there is also the thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH, which its function is from the thyroid gland. The adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, its function is the adrenal cortex, while the prolactin naman is that there is prolactin hormone, which its function is the breast growth and milk synthesis, may be permissive for certain reproductive function in the male. The gonadotropic, on the other hand, we have the gonads, which their function is the gonads, gametes production, and sex hormone secretion. The gonadotropic hormone naman, we have follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and beta-lipoprotein hormone, and beta-endorphin hormone, which its function is unknown. There is posterior pituitary gland, which its hormone is oxytocin. Oxytocin is the milk function of it is the milk let down, or the uterine motility, while the vasopressin is the antidiuretic hormone or ADH, which is its function is the water excretion by the kidneys, blood pressure. Placenta, on the other hand, is that their placenta gland is the hormone of the placenta gland is the chorionic gonadotropin or CG, which its function is the secretion by corpus luteum. The estrogen hormone naman is their function is to see gonads in the ovaries, while the progesterone is in the ovaries also. The placenta lactogen the function of it is the breast development and organic metabolism. Now in the thymus gland, which go with the thymus gland. The thymus gland naman is that their hormone is thymopeptin, which it function as the T lymphocytes function. In the thyroid gland naman, we have thyroxine, triiodothyronine, and calcitonin, which the thyroxine naman is the function of it is the metabolic rate, growth, brain development, and function. It's the same thing with the triiodothyronine, while in the calcitonin naman is the plasma calcium. Multiple cell types like growth factor, example is the epidermal growth factor, has a function of growth and proliferation specific cell type. Okay, let's continue. Now let's discuss about the hormone structure, synthesis, and secretion. What are hormones actually? So, hormones, chemical message transmitted in the blood, is secreted by an endocrine gland. Hormone can be classified into three categories, which is the amine, the peptides and proteins, and the steroids. So, polypeptide hormones are the proteins that act as hormones. Size of the polypeptide varies from 3 to 200 amino acid residues. This cannot pass through cell membrane due to their size and water-soluble nature. Protein hormones are the most numerous types, secreted by many glands. So, polypeptide hormones are synthesized in the same manner as any other protein. DNA in the nucleus is transcribed to mRNA and translated into the protein by ribosomes. Protein is then processed by the Golgi apparatus and stored in the secretory granules. Many hormones undergo changes in the Golgi apparatus or secretory granules. Cleavage reactions, additions of carbohydrates groups. So, the partial structure of oxytocin, more likely a line. So, secretory granules released by exocytosis. This occurs when the membrane of the granule fuses with the membrane of the cell, causing the content to be ejected. The process is triggered by calcium entering the cell. The polypeptide hormone release is controlled mainly by regulating secretion rather than synthesis. So this is the hormone, which is the nucleus is in the inside, apparently between the granular endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus, and the plasma membrane is the outside. While synthesis, it promotes the pre-pro hormone, then it goes to prohormone, then prohormone. After prohormone, it's packaging to prohormone to hormone, then it's storage to hormone, and secretion to hormone and any other pro-fragments. So they use the Ca2 or carbohydrates and the intracellular cell, which then. So steroids hormones are small and fat soluble, can pass through cell membranes, but they must circulate bound to plasma proteins since they are insoluble in blood, secreted by certain glands. Derived from cholesterol. Cholesterol is acquired from the diet or synthesized within the cells. All steroids have the same basic structure formed by 4 rings of carbon. Individual steroid hormones differ primarily. So this and this. So the hormone is that the hormone is that cholesterol, pregnenolone, then goes to progesterone, which the androgen has the testosterone and oestrogen or estradiol. The glucocorticoids naman is we have the cortisol, and